Welcome to the world of Tenishia. Hailing from the small island of Malta, Joven and Cyprian, who make up the partnership of the DJ duo Tenishia, are taking the world of electronic dance music by storm. Already kings in their home country, where they have a huge fan base, winning music awards and attracting sponsorship deals, they are responsible for some of the most popular progressive music and remixes on Armada Records, which is taking them rapidly up the ladder of musical success. Not only with electronic dance music fans, but with some international producers and artists too. Tenishia's story starts back in summer 2004, when Cyprian and Joven met each other through mutual friends, which led to a long discussion about music and eventually to them getting together in a studio to begin what is fast becoming a musical phenomenon. Individually, both Joven and Cyprian had their own experiences in music. Cyprian started his career from a very young age. Motivated by his father, he started taking his first music lessons at the age of 10. Already having a great ear for melodies, he quickly learned to play several musical instruments. Primarily, he was part of a local rock band playing the synths and guitars and was later influenced by the sounds of electronic dance music, which was taking over Malta in the late 90s. Eventually, he built his own studio to start experimenting. Joven also comes from a musical family, having lots of relatives involved in local media and the music industry. Although he was in and out of studios from a very young age, learning his craft, his professional career kicked off at the early age of just 16. Joven worked on a small community radio where he played dance music, practicing his mixing techniques and at the same time used those skills to amaze the audiences and the DJs at various clubs, where he was a guest performer. Seeing great potential in this youngster, the club owner offered Joven the chance to play as a resident DJ at his top club for a much larger audience, gaining lots of experience and building a fan base that just grew and grew. Malta may be small, but the 400,000 residents there love their music. In the early 90s, house music really took a hold on the dance scene and has only ever grown since. However, in such a small country, opportunities to get into the music business were few and far between, as there were only a few DJs that made a name for themselves due to the fact that there were only a few clubs on the island. This led to some DJs becoming promoters themselves and organising their own events, outdoor, indoor and even on the sea too. Parties were held in farmhouses, in fields and even in caves. These were often illegal, but well supported and created new stars on the music scene in Malta. Eventually, most clubs warmed up to the idea of house parties and began to welcome these young entrepreneurs with their legions of fans, filling up their clubs, which were failing at the time due to the failing popularity of commercial dance music and the increasing popularity of house, trance and techno music. Tenishia were one of the first groups to revolutionise club music in Malta with their music and productions, inspiring young talent and even established DJs into production. Their first ever local gig as Tenishia was a live PA held at the club Tattinger's in Malta, March 2005, which gained such attention it earned them a booking with MTV and a live set at the Malta Music Awards. Respected by their fans for their innovations in dance music and their ability to fill a dance floor in minutes, Tenishia won Malta's Best Newcomers Award only 8 months after their debut and have since won the Best Dance Production Award 3 years in a row.
Best Dance Production għal dal-aħħar 12 xahar għal Malta Music Awards 2008.
Sponsorjat minn Fexco, imur għand Tenishia!
Tenishia!
The first to discover Tenishia was Marcus Schultz, who signed their first big production, 5, to his own label after Joven and Cyprian gave him a CD when he was performing in Malta. Tenishia attracted interest from Kirsty Hawkshaw and Jen Johnston, who both showed an interest in Tenishia's productions and wanted to work with the guys. Having these two great vocalists, who have played a big part in the success of Tiesto and other producers on their side, was a big asset for Tenishia to break through to the international scene. Working with Kirsty, Tenishia have learned a lot about the music business, and with her, they produced 3 big hits that made it to Armada's top label, Armind. One of these hits is Outsiders, which was included in compilation albums from icons such as Ministry of Sound and Cream Ibiza, and was also a favourite after being played several times on BBC Radio 1. Apart from Marcus Schultz, Armin van Buuren and Matt Darey now support the guys, playing Tenishia's tunes in their sets and have even invited them as guests on their global radio shows. The news was good. Tenishia's new sounds are taking them to another level.
Okay, I'm in Malta. I'm with the Tenishia guys, the legends here. I played their track tonight, and you know what? They went crazy. They sang along. So it's a big hit, guys. If you haven't bought it yet, buy it. Buy it.
Tenishia's first international gigs happened in Australia when Joven moved there for a period of time. Joven said,
In Australia it was crazy because it happened when I went to this record shop to buy a headphone amplifier, and there on the best-selling shelf there was Outsiders sitting on the 2nd position, and it sort of shocked me because, you know, I was so far away from home and it was one of our first releases. And the shop owner came, you know, and said, "Can I help you with something?" Because I was like staring at the long play, and I said, "Nah, it's okay, that's my record." And I was like, "Oh, you're Tenishia, and what you're doing here?" And like, "I'm just living here for the moment." So he said, "Are you interested in any gigs?" And that, and I said, "Of course, you know, that's what I do." And he made a few phone calls, and there it was. And I was playing around Melbourne, played a few clubs there, which also led to a bigger event called Summer Days with 30,000 people. That was very, very crazy. And also a beach party in Adelaide and also New Zealand.
While still in Australia, music production continued. Utilising the internet, Joven and Cyprian sent files of music to each other, each working on different parts of songs. During this time, Burning from the Inside was produced, and Cyprian, who was still performing in Malta, opened for the world's #1 DJ, Armin van Buuren. When Joven returned to Malta, Tenishia started their own TV show, showing tricks and tips from the studios and film of their international adventures around the world. However, with a popular TV show and local radios playing their tracks, especially Burning from the Inside, some promoters, radio stations and owners of rival venues became possessive of the guys, all claiming that they alone had helped Tenishia become famous and therefore began to dictate where and where not the guys could perform, which in a small country like Malta could only result in one thing: not being able to please everyone. Cyprian says,
"It was actually a bit of a weird situation here in Malta. We couldn't get any gigs, although we were doing pretty good on the radio and internationally. But then Armin came to save the day."
On December the 7th, 2008, Armin van Buuren was performing in Malta with his world tour Imagine. In the middle of his set, he dropped Burning from the Inside and called Tenishia on stage. It was the first time in Malta that such a famous DJ played a locally made tune. The crowd sang from start to finish, and this sealed the deal. Tenishia were on their way to the top. Now, Tenishia were the new kings of the island, and it was time to organise the first Tenishia event. With the help of some promoters, Joven and Cyprian organised their first event on the 7th of February 2009, which packed one of Malta's best clubs, Tattinger's, to its maximum capacity, leaving more than 500 people waiting, sadly, outside.
Honestly, we didn't expect so much people. We thought we'll get like 500 to 600 people, but it turned to be so much bigger. And obviously we have to thank all the people that helped us that day, because doing an event is a lot of work.
Today, Tenishia has formed a great family who help to organise their events that are regularly sold out. And having such a great reputation with the young generation on the island, Tenishia also got the attention of big companies like Vodafone, Farsons, Red Bull and Springfield, which are the official sponsors of all of the Tenishia events. Joven and Cyprian work from their studio in Malta, and here they produce their own music, organise and plan their shows, keep everything up to date on their websites and edit their videos. Plus, they teach the new generation the art of electronic dance music in their production classes. Tenishia, they just don't stop.
Tenishia have left a major impact on the local radio scene and continue to do so. What they've done with their productions is they've taken local trance to another level. Plus, when you consider everything within their productions, their intricate layers, we're talking about their attention to detail. Their productions have been first class since day one, and they're just getting better and better. What I would say is that Tenishia, along with other top international DJs, have really helped to bridge the gap between trance music and mainstream, which has really helped radio.
I want to ask two other guys that are here. I think you're both celebrities now in Malta, aren't you? Tenishia?
Sort of, yeah.
Sort of? Are you just being modest now?
They have
a film crew here. They have a film crew here. Okay, there we go. And Ruben is here as well. You guys just made a tune together, didn't you?
Yep.
Amazing. So a lot of people from Malta traveled along here to Den Bosch?
Yeah, there's a big group, I must say. Most of them are wearing the Malta t-shirt, so you spot them.
The Malta t-shirt.
Yeah. As you can see there, look.
Wicked. There you go. Tenishia are true rock stars in their own country of Malta. Thank you so much for coming down. Very quick, what can people expect from your set later on?
Proggy, trancey, still pumpy. That's the way we do it.
That's the way we like it.
Some people tend to think that DJing is the easiest job in the world, but because they see those 2 hours, but there's a lot of work behind that. Our studio has become the place we live. We also have a kitchen there and a shower. We spend a lot of time there, a lot of time.
Our next